Good morning. Welcome to the People's Parliament. Welcome to the People's Parliament. Welcome to the official opposition in the country of Barbados. 2018, 24th of May, the people voted for the people to be the opposition. They voted again on the 19th of January 2022 for the people of Barbados to be the official opposition. They tell me success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. Day in and day out. Day in and day out. The power of repetition is in its simplicity. A message heard repeatedly is more likely to stay in your mind. That is why day after day, week after week, we have come out to march in this country. Our beloved country is falling apart. Tourism, Queen Elizabeth walls, Child Protection Bill. Let me pause here. I am making a call today for the people of Barbados. I am moving a no confidence motion on the behalf of the Parliament of the people of Barbados against the Minister of Education. She needs to step down or resign. When you oversee a department in any business that goes through some failures of what we have witnessed, that person is either fired or removed. We dealt with the common sexual education fiasco with the American Development Bank that the Ministry of Education told us they had no idea about. How in the name of God can you be presiding over the education of our children and have no idea what is being taught in our educational curriculum? To add insult to injury, many principals of our schools discovered what school they were assigned to a night before school began. When you preside over that type of conduct and behavior, you should resign. I move a no confidence motion this morning against the Minister of Education. I don't know who she is, but clearly she does not know what she is doing. Corruption. What is corruption? It is not just a matter of money. It is a matter of selling our country out to the dictates of international and global agendas that are not in the best interest of Barbados. And I will address two of them in a moment. I had the opportunity of observing our Prime Minister in the United Nations a few days ago. In her address, Madam Prime Minister called for transparency from the international and global agencies and governments. Yet, in Barbados, you are ridiculing and chastising people who are calling for transparency in your own country. That, madam, is called moral hypocrisy. How could you demand of the international countries of the world transparency when you are not prepared to grant it within your own country? Two matters I will address. The National ID Fiasco. I want to read something to you because some people seem to think that when we are critical of the Barbados Trident ID card, that we are conspiracy people and do not know what we're talking about. Well, listen to the World Economic Forum warning. The World Economic Forum warning against the ID cards. I want to remind you that the Barbados Trident ID card is not a national conception. It was not created in Barbados. It was created in the World Economic Forum. It was created in Davos. It was created in the G20 and in the G7. It is not originating in Barbados. The World Economic Forum outlined significant risks of the ID card, stating that it poses significant risk, the most serious, which potentially involves exclusion, marginalization, and oppression. Shall I repeat those three words for you? Exclusion, marginalization, and oppression. That is one warning from the World Economic Forum Insight Report on the possible benefits and drawbacks of the digital ID technology. The report assesses considerable potential benefits and particular decentralization of the digital ID, which can help to foster greater social inclusion and enhance privacy protections. However, there are risks outlined in the report, many of which will be familiar to critics of the digital ID card. The World Economic Forum notes that by making access conditional, tell me if we are not making access conditional in Barbados. We are being insulted to think that you have to pin your ID card in order to provide a home address. The government has my home address. How do I know that? I just received a land tax at my house with my name on it. Why do you need me to put my national address on a digital ID card and pin it in order for you to know where I live? I am getting electoral notices from the representative from St. George North with my name on it and my address. Why do you need me to pin an ID card to know my address? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because inevitably, you want to do what Trudeau did up in Canada, the demon that he is. When the people protested in Canada concerning vaccine and mandates and COVID-19 mandates, Trudeau, the demon that he is, Prime Minister of Canada, down here holding hands with our Prime Minister, could not even deliver a speech in the European Union because he did not represent democracy. Trudeau, watching the people who protested against his vaccine mandates, shut down every bank account of the people involved because they had a digital ID card connected to their banks. That is what is the intention here. So that if they were to take their drone pictures, are they up there yet? Somebody check for me, please, and tell me if they're up there watching us. If they were to take our drone pictures and identify your face, facial recognition, what do you think all of those cameras are on the highway for? You think they're there just for your looks? They're there to identify you. The Chinese are very much here. China has over 1 million cameras that are capable of identifying you by your face, and they have implemented it here in Barbados. So when you're out here, that's probably why some people are not out here, because they're afraid that if their faces are seen, their accounts could be shut down. You all have no idea what is in store for us if you pin those digital ID cards. And I'm telling you this morning, don't pin it, collect it, don't pin it. If they don't like it, carry a passport when you have to get an ID. Then they have to tell us the passports are no more good. Travel with your passport. A passport is the most secure identity form in the planet. Americans used to be able to travel to the Caribbean on a driver's license. They can't now. They have to have a passport. Even the United States is pushing back against the digital ID. The Congress of America and the Senate are pushing back against the digital ID because they identify that the matter is not about our country. They identify the matter is about the elitist control of the wealth of the region and of the world. And if you in Barbados don't wake up to the reality, you are going to wake up the day you are not able to step out of your house for more than 15 minutes. And you think this is a joke. It's not a joke. Trudeau shut down the accounts of mothers who could not buy baby milk for their babies. And he did it through a digital ID. Let me move on to another subject. I am calling for a national representation of everybody who has had any side effects from any in Barbados. The Minister of Health and the Chief Medical Officer got the balls to call for it. But I'm calling for it. We are going to prepare a virtual online town hall meeting that will make it possible for everybody who has had negative reactions from the vaccine to come on incognito and tell us about your experience. Dr. McCullough, in his testimony to the European Union, and the European Union is investigating all of the negative effects of the vaccines. The CDC is now admitting that the vaccines were not authorized for use. And we think this is a joke. The Minister of Health swore to us that the vaccines would keep you from contracting the disease. Nothing could have been further from the truth. You took the vaccine, you contracted COVID-19. Then we were told that the vaccine would keep you from having severe effects of COVID-19. You took the vaccine and discovered that was a lie too. They told you that the vaccine would keep you from being hospitalized. You took the vaccine and you ended up in hospital. Some people that died during the COVID pandemic, some people have not had their autopsies done up to this day. What is the Ministry of Health and the government hiding? When you stand in the United Nations map and you call for transparency, be prepared to be put on notice for transparency in your own country. And let me conclude by saying this. I hear from a little bird that flew past me this morning that they have an event in Queen's Park beginning at 10 o'clock. I am not sure if it is the Barbados Labour Party or the government, but I hear that there's an event in Queen's Park with the youth, calling the youth to give their opinion on democracy and the state of the country. Clearly, these marches have created a problem that you are now calling on people to turn out to discuss the matter. If you are, let me tell you something. You see this thing of blind politics, it's done in this country. We became a republic on the 30th of 2021, right? Politics must change. Some of you are foolish enough to be so committed to the Labour Party and the Democratic Labour Party that you're not committed to your country. But I'm putting the leaders of the Democratic Labour Party on notice this morning, and I'm calling you out. If you are saying what you're saying about the National Insurance Scheme, if you're saying what you're saying about the digital ID, get your backside down here and march with us. If your unions are calling, we are calling out the unions. Get your back down here and march with us. And I'm going to make one last challenge. This one is to the spiritual leaders of this country. The reverends, the pastors, the apostles, the prophets, all of them big names. Get your butt down here and march with us. This is what Jesus wants. He wants you to protect the widows, the orphans. That's what he asks us to do. He asks us to fight for righteousness and justice. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless you.